Welcome back. Okay, in this video, we're going to be priming blogs. So we're essentially just going to be deleting all the old blogs. We're going to create a new blog for ourselves. And then we're going to look at, in a separate video, a bonus one around syndicating those blogs. So let's get started. All right, so hopefully you're logged into the back end of your site here. And we want to go to the posts section. And we had talked about posts and creating blogs there. And so we have a number of posts that was automatically added for us here. And so we're going to go ahead and just delete all of these. So what you can do is just highlight them all like this, and you can go ahead and move to trash, and we'll click apply. So the good thing about just leaving them in the trash is that you can always restore them if you wanted to see exactly what was done. Like if you click in here, you could always restore this and see how they did that. But I'm just going to go back to the all here, and we're just going to add a new post. So this is our blog that we're gonna start. What I recommend right off the bat, if you can, is write about 5 blogs, just about different things about your product or its use. And you don't have to focus 100% on the products or whatever you're selling, but cover something in general around it. And I'm thinking mostly use cases of how something is being used or that kind of thing, so that you kind of bring in free information. So that way, if it was about phishing or something like that, I'd probably want to say, what are the statistics or something around phishing, and how better hooks make this much, like so much more difference when you're going out and doing phishing than it would be to buy something from like a dollar store. So if you can find and research some information and then put some blogs together around something like that, that's valuable, because you're offering somebody something for free, and you're also making your website more relevant to search engines, making your site more relevant to people. And what you hope to do is maybe people find your blog informative enough where they will copy the link and they'll put it somewhere else. And then you're going to have to start, you'll start having more link backs to your site under, say, phishing websites or stuff like that. Later on down the road, I'll be doing a bonus video on syndicating and getting your blog out there on other sites and having those link backs to your website. That just helps strengthen the relevancy of your website. And really what that is when you talk about search engine optimization, it's all about you being the most valuable player. So if you look at websites as being, players on a soccer field, the one that the search engine likes the most is the one everybody passes the ball to, because it feels, hey, that one must be the most relevant out of all of those, and it's going to put it higher up in the search engine. It wants so badly to make sure that the first pages that you see on Google are really what the most relevant and what you're searching for. Now, it's getting trickier and trickier because there's artificial intelligence involved. And so this stuff is constantly changing. The best thing for you to do is to make your website valued. So to do that, blogging is a good way to do that. Free information is a good way to do that. And so it's not just stick up a website and hope things are going to sell, but actually work it. So, and that's one of the reasons why we went with WordPress. It's a lot easier to work with it, work with it than a lot of other sites. And it gives you a lot more flexibility because you can download plugins and really change with the times instead of just having something a little bit more static. Okay, so let's get started. We want to do blogs. So how hooks make the difference. Okay. So what I would do here is just write an article, and using these features here, I can make it look pretty. I could even use some of these short codes to add dividers and stuff like that, and you can play around with that. Just like any page, the only difference is you don't have a page builder, so it's just a raw text editor. If you want to add media or pictures, which I highly recommend doing, you would do that up here. Also, just down here is, of course, then the featured image, which would be, say, like the banner that goes across. And if you have a custom logo that you want to use on this one, it's the same thing as the pages. You have a lot of similar options there for that. And finally, if you did download the Yoast SEO, you can also ensure that you're doing the search engine optimization on that. So I've completed this blog here, and I've done what I can to appease most of the readability options here. It does want a little bit more words and things like this. So what you want to do is have as many green here as you possibly can, and to do that. The other thing that this particular template has is a different level of format of blog. This is just a standard text blog, but you can have a video blog, a quote, these different types, and it's just the way it's presented. So when you go down to the bottom down here, you have more options of putting in things like video. You can also do things like quotes and audio and things like that, depending on what type of a blog format that you're doing. Also, the other thing to keep in mind is categories. So we had categories here where it was built into this template. That's fine. You don't have to use those. In fact, we can go and delete them. Those are all up here. If you go to categories up here, right click on them, and you can just select them all. So we're going to select them all actually, and we're going to delete them. Okay, and so once they're all deleted, categorized has to stay there, and that's okay. So we can go back to this page and hit refresh, and the category list will disappear. And we can add new categories. So this category could be, we can have a category on tips on equipment, or equipment tips. How about that? Right? And so it could be any blogs on tips on how to use equipment, how good equipment is, anything like that. So we can add that category, and we can uncheck uncategorized because it is categorized. You can have multiple categories for one blog, so that's really good, and it helps people find the type of subject that they're looking for. And so there we go. So we have a blog here. It's set. The other thing I could do too is add a feature image to that. And that would help actually make it look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and open this in the window and see what it looks like. So let's first set a feature image. So it's a small banner that goes on there. And I'm just going to, for now, just to save time, I'm going to go down and just select one here. Let's see how this one looks. Okay, and we'll select that one. We're going to update it. Let's see how that looks. And keep in mind, they're probably a different format or size format. So there we go. So we have a nice image here, and it's cool because it zooms in as you have your mouse over it. So that's kind of nice. And then of course this. So depending on the size of the banner, like if you wanted just a nice small one, you would obviously have a picture that is skinny and long, then it wouldn't take up as much space. But that just goes to show you that you can have something nice and big up there. And of course, here's the blog article. Okay, and obviously this is all fictitious. I didn't do any study. If I was actually going to write a blog, I'd probably be studying on it. And so we can see over here recent and popular ones and the date that it was published. Okay, and it has me here as the main author, and of course the categories. So that's all filling in nice. And down here has some share links down here, which is great. Okay, and people can leave comments here because we did leave commenting turned on. The other thing too here is we have this whole background that main header needs to be updated.